Hello there. My name is Miki Wright. I want to welcome you guys to Beauty Superstars Talk. Got a little, there we go. I'm going to mute there. So we had a little bit of background noise there. We're good. So, again, I want to welcome you to Beauty Superstars Talk, your backstage pass to experts in beauty. And right now, salon suites are definitely all the rage for a variety of reasons. And it is a great option for a lot of people. There we go. And, but for some people, I'm hearing that there are some stories that, it's just not like they thought it would be. They're not making enough money. They found out they really just want to do hair. They don't want to run the business like they need to do in the suites, or they may be struggling with challenging client issues, keeping up with marketing and really running the business. And of course, there's social media to keep up with as well. So if any of that sounds familiar, or you've been thinking about setting up your own suite, you're actually in the right place tonight. I'm super excited to have my guest, Raymond Torregano. Many of you know him as the founder of the Tribe membership, and he spends his time helping stylists and those in salon suites in particular to build better brands. He will keep it real and you'll learn a lot. So get your notebooks out, get ready for some aha moments. And some of those may just end up making your business run smoother and or fattening up your bank account. So this is actually the last week of our Salon Success Series. And I hope you've had a chance to catch all of them. If you haven't, please take a look on YouTube. My YouTube channel is YouTube, and my handle is Miki Wright, just MikiWright. And you can see all of the former guests, which were amazing this month, as well as the other ones prior to this month. I also hope you've had a chance to catch my Black History Month tributes. I am Black Hair History. And if not, I encourage you to follow me on Instagram at Miki Wright. Again, just MikiWright, and Facebook at Salon Biz Coach to learn more about some of the greatest Black artists and entrepreneurs in the history of the beauty industry. And if you have seen them, if you have learned something, it's like, I'd love it if you would put a heart in the comment section, as I've been working my little heart out to get all of the information out. I think it's so exciting, interesting, and necessary. So I hope you're enjoying it. And I'm actually grateful that you're here tonight. I'm grateful for the privilege every week to be able to meet with amazing Black beauty bosses who are making their mark in the beauty industry. And more than a podcast, this is actually a movement to encourage Black excellence, entrepreneurship, and to preserve our history, as well as bringing healing to our industry. So if you'd like, I've been getting a lot of questions. If you'd like to contribute to this work, I encourage you to visit Beauty Superstars. It's like we're actually setting up a new website, so I'm super excited about that. I am going to let you know, have it scroll across the bottom here, how you can contribute to the work that we're doing. And it's actually through PayPal.me with Miki W2. Or Cash App with the $ Miki W2. So Cash App or PayPal. With PayPal, of course, you can use credit card. So if you love what we're doing here, it's like we appreciate your contributions. So as I mentioned, this is the last week with the Salon Success Series. But next month, it's like we are going to be talking about texture. Everyone is talking about texture right now. And so we're going to talk about texture. And we have some amazing artists, educators, leaders, legends in this field. And we're going in kind of all in on this topic. So I hope you'll join us. Next week is actually a double header. So I'm going to kick off the month with 2 interviews. So next Tuesday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, same place. Elaine Truesdale with the Association of Natural Hair Care, ANHC Pro, will talk to us about how the natural hair industry has literally gone from the back porch to an industry that generates billions of dollars, and what you need to know right now to make your business more profitable. Then on Thursday, we'll have our first international guest, Ms. Asha McLeod of Jasmine Hair Inc. And she basically single-handedly has led the way in creating a space for Afro and super curly hair in Canada. Her salon, her styling team, products, they've been the place for more than 30 years. All types of entertainers. People go there from all over because of their reputation. And she's seen it all. She'll be here to share how she created this amazing brand and owns her own niche, and how you can too. So mark your calendars, bring your notebook, bring a friend who wants to learn more about working with natural or textured hair, and make their business more profitable. We'll be having conversations about inclusion and diversity, or even if we should work on inclusion and diversity. So we're going deep, and I don't want you to miss it. So without further ado, I want to welcome my guest. I want to share with you a little bit about him. I think we have him available for viewing right here. So welcome, Raymond. Uh-oh, I think we're muted.
Locations.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm actually on the PC. I got it working there, so I'm going to leave out of here, but I should be on a...
Okay, so we're going to add him again. Okay, how are we doing?
Should be loud and clear right now.
You were actually clear. I can hear you perfectly. You were actually a little bit clearer on the other one. So it's up to you which one you want to use. We'll work it out.
Clear with the volume, or clear with the volume or the video?
The volume is great. The audio is great. Your video is a little bit blurry.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Just because I believe the signal is a little bit stronger here. How about that? That cleared it up just a little bit.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I'm just going to share a little bit about your bio, and we're going to jump right in. So I hope you're ready.
I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. Cool. So I hope everybody else is ready. It's like, buckle your seatbelts. So let me just share a little bit about Raymond, and we are going to, like I said, go for it. So Raymond Torregano III is the founder of business education agency Torregano Group. He is the creator of the Torregano Tribe Membership. The Tribe Membership is an online streaming video education platform engineered specifically for hairstylists and salon owners. Now, hairstylists can learn anytime, any place with exclusive on-demand video education accessible directly from their smartphone from anywhere in the world. Raymond leads his team at Torregano Group with a simple and clear mission statement: better brands, better business, better lives. And with that, I want to welcome you to Beauty Superstars Talk.
Hey, listen, I am excited to be here with you, Miki. I gave you just a little bit of a heart attack right before, but we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe. Guys, thank you for having me here on Beauty Superstars Talk. Excited to share all that I have to offer.
Yeah. Well, we're so glad you're here. So glad we got through the technical difficulties.
We got it.
There's always something, I think. But
yeah. I apologize, but I'm so glad we got it together. I'm excited to be here.
It always works out, so I just trust that it will. Yes. Yeah. So take a deep breath and tell us, how did you get started in this industry? It's like you are like 100% all in to the beauty industry.
Yeah. So again, guys, thank you for having me. I grew up, guys, very much like many people that I've found over the years. I was an art kid, right? So I was drawing on notepads. I was changing around my room. I was cutting up my clothes. So I didn't know that it would lead me into the beauty industry. I thought that I was going to be graduating and being an art teacher. That's what I thought, right? Comic books, that kind of vibe. So after I graduated high school, I was very lucky. I was in a school in Marietta, Georgia. I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, then eventually middle school and high school in Georgia. And they had an AP, or advanced placement art school. So I was around a lot of creatives very early on in my life, right? So pretty much everybody I went to school with, other than myself, they went off to like Pratt or SCAD and those kind of places. So it was challenging me early, preparing me really for what I do now. I got to Columbus, Georgia, after Atlanta, Georgia. I got to Columbus, Georgia, and I couldn't find a barber. And I was always fascinated. I know now that it's art, right? It's the cosmetic arts. And I was fascinated as a young kid. Me and my brother were going to the barber shop, and I just used to watch him. And I in my back of my mind, I would say, I could do that. I know how to do that. And my mother, and parents, bless them, they gave me my first set of clippers, and I was off to the races to kind of be the local, around the neighborhood guy, cutting hair for $5, $7, that kind of thing. And a chance meeting with somebody I knew that lived next to a guy that owned a barber shop. And I said, I think I can cut. And so I started, guys, 18, 19, told my parents, can I take a year before I go off to school? And I'm going to work at this barber shop, and was working retail on the weekends. Fast forward, he said, look, you can't. I went from sweeping to eventually, young gun got a chair, but he said you can't work here without a license. So can't keep ducking and running from the state board. Yes, I was one of those guys. And I went to the local school, and I needed to still work during the daytime. So they had cosmetology, and I just went back to the barbershop because I had no interest in doing women. I was like, I'm a dude, ignorant 18-year-old. And eventually he's like, you got to get enrolled in something. Got enrolled in cosmetology school, and things started opening up. I realized that I had been around color my whole life. Red, yellow, and blue was in high school with art. I had been around line and design. I had scissors in my hand, seemingly creating things with paper. But I didn't know anything about hair. But hair cosmetology made sense. Graduated with a cosmetology license, seemingly going back to the barbershop. And I wasn't happy. I knew how to do women's hair. So I had to get over this stigma that I thought it was for women. And I remember working in the barbershop and still not wanting to fully cross over into women. And I live in a military town.
Okay.
And in 2001, I got my license about 2000. The towers fell. So all of my barbering clients, serendipity happens. They left overnight for Desert Storm or that world in 2001. And it was like a sign. Okay, their wives are still here. So let's do their wives' hair. So I switched over that year into cosmetology, creeping in and started learning. I was already doing some like brows and taper, but I had a cosmetology license. So for about 7 years, I bounced around from a bunch of different salons trying to find my way. I was growing up off of Outkast and hip hop and the Rebel and sports and a lot of places I didn't fit. But I love the industry. I love the art of it and the creativity. I got a chance to see Bronner Brothers early. And I just knew that just like kind of like in your mother's home, if I was going to ever find my space, I had to have my own. So, without really knowing, very ignorant, kind of ignorance on fire, at my 28th birthday, I took that money, had some money from, I was working on platform for companies because I knew how to speak, and I was a bit of a phenom. Now I know now at 43, I realize now I was doing some things I probably wasn't supposed to be doing at 20 something years old. But I took that money. I remember working with the company, and I told the owner, just send me anywhere because I want to open up my own space. So I saved every dime that summer and found a small space in my city, and then opened up my salon. And a lot of things started happening then. That was in 2006. So that was, from pretty much 96, graduating high school in 95, working in the barbershop sweeping to 2006, got the keys to my salon that I had as a salon owner for 10 years.
Wow. Well, congratulations. And that's quite a story.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Miki, that's why I love opportunities like this to share. And I know that even bigger than whether I want to be an educator or not, I had a each day I think about it, I had a very unique career. I saw a lot of things early. And 2006, I was lucky to grow up on the backs of social media. So I almost feel like it's an obligation to go back and share my experiences because I haven't really met myself in the industry. I had a very unique run. So I got to get out and share with people.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting how your background was with art. And it's like we have so much trouble seemingly in the industry, like kind of getting the concepts of hair coloring. And, I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed, out of school and even some more experienced. And, just a simple question like, tell me your primary colors is like,
Yeah. So check this out. I was probably born to be a colorist, but I couldn't do a roller set to save my life for 2 years. So I was a horrible hairdresser, but ironically, the technical lines, geometry, angles, and color, all of that stuff came natural. So that had to kind of take a back seat, and my skill set of being a hairstylist took about a good 3 years to catch up. I just was telling the world, you wait.
Right, right.
When I can do a straight line part and stop burning you with a relaxer, I'm gonna be something serious. I'm gonna be good.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a speaker in the industry, Gino Stampora, and he says, it's like, for whatever reason, it's really stuck with me. It's like, people will stay with you while you're bad and wait for you to get good if they like you.
Bless them. Bless them.
Yeah,
I figured that out early.
You got the personality. So.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I lucked up.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So you've got this great art background and you teach more on the business side. So tell us how that happened, because that's the connect for people. It's like, I'm an artist.
I'm an artist, right? So again, a very unique trek. So I grew up, my family, everybody is from New Orleans, Louisiana. Arguably the most artistic music, color, design, culinary, you name it, is happening in that city. And then at 12 years old, my family moved to arguably one of the most entrepreneurial cities in the world, Atlanta.
Okay.
Right. So I got to Atlanta and I mean, it was everywhere. As a matter of fact, in hindsight, the reason why we even got to Atlanta is my father and my mother were helping my uncle open up at the time a restaurant in downtown New Orleans. So they were in entrepreneurship. Seemingly, that's how we got to Georgia. So when I got and I started again seeing the beauty industry, I saw it early. For years I was just a barber, but then I saw Bronner. Mm-hmm. I saw what people were doing out of Detroit, and again, I was close to Atlanta, so I saw like these entrepreneurs, these beauty entrepreneurs. And when I got my business, I knew that I was the oldest son. My brother was off in college. My folks were going through a divorce at the time, literally the same year that I opened up my salon. So it was kind of looking around like, okay, if this is going to happen, it's going to have to be me that does it. So, and I'm very thankful early on, some of the people that I worked with an owner of a company, and he just kind of took me in. He took me in early, and we took each other in really when I realized he needed me and I needed him at the time. But I got close quarters with somebody that was doing R&D for product and ingredients and budgeting. And I saw distributing early. I was a distributor for the company. It was a small company. So once a week, I took off the educator hat and went around to the salons. All this very early on, even before I opened up my salon. So by the time I was in mid-20s, by 27, I had kind of experienced platform artistry, product, balancing books. And I knew that I started really getting connected to brands and business, and I could do it. And I had worked with people that were great people, but I knew I had another thing. So I opened up Rhythm really trying to figure out, and it probably had a lot of young ambition to say, I'm going to prove people wrong, that I don't have to be, older than what I am. So pretty much my whole 20s and 30s was just really trying to figure things out. And then I became infatuated, realizing, I'll tell you another thing. Let's tell the whole story, Miki. So 2006, I opened, and then I live in a Fortune 500 city, bunch of Aflac and Blue Cross. So 2007, the recession happened. So I went from opening up my business, Mr. Creative, to sleeping in the salon for about a year. And I just remember, if you can think about, cold and sitting here like I haven't even made a year in business and I'm homeless. I'm pretty much living in the shop. Again, my brother's at school. My mom's trying to rebuild. The relationship with my father isn't the best. So I'm the oldest one. I got to figure this out. And I just vowed, listen, talent couldn't get me out of that.
Right.
I had to learn money, marketing, managing people. And when I got out of that in 2008 and 9, I don't think I ever looked at the art the same way, because to make it out, I had to make it out with a lot more business understanding than just being a great colorist.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you said a mouthful there, because that, level of adversity has probably propelled you further than all of the other things that happened,
Absolutely.
And how would you say that experience prepared you for, this time frame, with the pandemic? I mean, obviously no one was expecting a pandemic. No one was expecting, the World Trade Center to be, run into. And, there was a talk about the real estate bubble, but I don't know if anyone really expected it to burst the way that it did, so if we've been around here for a minute, we've been through some things. So how do you feel like that prepared you to help stylists who are going through this right now?
First of all, let me just say this. I've never had to talk about some of these questions. Being an artist, and I'm talented. I know I am, right? So I get asked a lot of artistic questions.
Mm-hmm.
But these questions that you're asking are some of the things that I love to talk about because, again, having I think, I'm not saying I'm the only one that went through this, but during my career as a hairstylist, I had to experience 9/11. I had to experience 2008 with the housing crisis, and I'm from New Orleans. So I experienced firsthand Katrina.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic happened, I don't know, my sensors just went off. I remember talking to my family and friends that were in. My cousin actually moved to my city. He had a tattoo business. I've been surrounded by people that's been in business. All of my friends are in some type of small business, restaurant, DJ. And I remember calling home and saying, how are you guys making this happen? You don't have any water. Even dealing with what's happening in Texas, I've been kind of talking to people because the idea of just that trauma of what they're dealing with the weather. I'm so glad to hear that things are better. I kind of experienced that a couple times, like seeing people lose their business, lose their homes with the housing crisis. So when I instantly went into what would I do? I almost, Miki, kind of put myself in a simulator and started thinking. I called my staff, my former staff, they're business owners now. And I asked them like, yo, let me just, if you don't want my advice, let me know. But if I had to deal with this, I would do this. I would do that. I would really start thinking differently about retail because they're saying 2 weeks. We don't know how long. I mean, we're a year later. So, and I was so thankful and I felt responsible because I had the platform of the tribe membership. So we did a series of live broadcasts, kind of getting a pulse, a litmus test of what people were dealing with and saying, okay, guys, here's what we got to deal with. This is what the salon is going to look like when you get back. Here's what you got to consider as far as your health. Let's get our immune system up. And people were asking me then, well, Ray, how are you thinking like this? I said, man, I had to figure out how to get through every client losing their job in '08 or the towers falling and what that do. So this is in the same vein to figure out this. I literally had a broadcast called a post-pandemic salon. Like, what is it going to look like and feel like? So it did prepare me to kind of, and my own personal pull yourself from the bootstraps for that full year. I am never going to forget that year. And anytime I have been in Mr. Childs and the Ritz-Carlton, but I will never forget going to sleep with a jacket on in my salon. And I tell people the joke, my clients would say, Ray, you're always on time. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sleeping in this mug. So I'm very much on time. I haven't went home. So I never lose sight of that. And a lot of people, friends of mine now in the beauty industry, I just say, listen, guys, I'm here. I went through a couple different things. And many have been able to leverage what I've experienced.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like some of those things happen like to prepare us for leadership.
Man.
And like you said, you had the tribe. And so it's like you have, a certain level of responsibility to help navigate the unknown,
Yeah. They were calling. They were calling. It was tears. It was like, yo, what do I do? On top of that, man, there's just a lot to talk about. I contracted COVID. So I almost feel like I remember my wife telling me, you need to talk about it. And because there was a level, I don't know if you've experienced it or anybody you know, but you felt a little like dirty, or I don't know if I should talk about this. I know I had it full blown. I experienced it all. And I remember feeling, I remember people contacting me like, man, thank you for sharing. I went live on Facebook, not for any sympathy or anything like that, but I wanted to tell people, okay, you got to consider that because we've got to touch people and connect. And I remember recently, she may even be watching, I say a friend of mine now, she was one of the first to even join the tribe and kick off when we kicked things off in 2015 after transitioning away from owning the salon. And I contacted her because I saw she had contracted. And I remember just having a series of conversations like, listen, this is what you're going to feel. This is what's going on. Ray, I know it feels like you're not going to be able to get your lungs back, but you got to think differently when you get back into business, disinfect, because this is your livelihood. And, you know, we love the government, but they don't really understand. We can't do what we do without touching people. So every aspect, man, I felt responsible, like a true big brother, to say, here's what I know, here's what I don't, and let's see if we can get through it together.
Right. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing, everything that you're sharing, because I think it's so helpful for people to, just kind of hear the ups and downs and all of that, because sometimes we just see, the person on stage, the person with the mic, the person on the video or what have you on the monitor. And we're like, oh yeah, they got it made. It's like they, they got it all together, like something.
It is rewarding, guys. And there have been some amazing moments. I mean, even this, this is exciting. I was a young stylist sitting in the front row watching you do your thing early years at Bronner. So even when I meet people or interact or people see what I'm doing, so there's some exciting champagne bottle time. And it's some hot pockets in the back of the salon times too. So I never pass up an opportunity to tell you that both exist. Both.
Yeah. And I think that's the reality check. And so, like, going forward, like, we're here to talk about salon suites, and I hope this has been helpful for people to hear, because it's like when you're in a suite, you're a business owner and you have to deal with all of those situations, the things that go on with the economy, the things that go on with your clients, the things that go on with you personally, health, and all of those things are like ongoing situations. And so what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you got calls about from your members?
For salon suites or just beauty in particular?
Beauty in particular.
Well, I always like to tell people that, and I'll credit my father-in-law, right? So he used to, he's a landscaper, right? So he would come by my salon, and wise cat, and he would come by, and I'm at this pivotal day, he said, Ray, you know what? You got to take care of them M's, because he's still a business owner. And I'm a young business owner, he would come by, and I just would sit at anybody that did business. And I'll tell you, one of the things that helped me, Miki, is early on, I didn't look at the beauty business like it was some unique business. I honestly, my greatest influences, I think, in being a beauty professional or salon owner are not necessarily the beauty industry. I watch tech, I watch other businesses, I watch CPG brands, like consumer brands. So I always wanted to listen to other people that were in business. And he said, Ray, you got to take care of the M's. And these are the things that people started calling me about, right? So people wanted to focus on the method, how we did what we did, technique. And we got that. We got 50 tutorials on the membership. I've been teaching technical, even on YouTube, before I even had the membership I started YouTube in 2009. So I was doing, hey guys, get better at technical for years. But he said, Ray, you also got to make sure that you understand the money. You really got to be mindful of marketing, like getting new clients. You really have to understand and have a handle on management. You really need to look at, do you have manpower, mission statement, materials? Like, he was rattling off, and I did an entire video about it because it was so profound. So when I get calls, it's people asking about, how do I build a team? Manpower. When I get calls or when I work with people, and the content that I began to create, it was because, unfortunately, there's not a lot of talk about client building in cosmetology schools. And I've been to many. I've spoken at dozens of schools, keynoted at schools, and I just never saw that they included marketing, the internet, contracts, debt freedom, compensation. It was just get to the board. And now more and more people are saying, I don't want to work with Miki and her salon. I don't necessarily want to work in an open concept and work with others. I want to do my thing right out of school. Now that is a level of a new shift.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that are new, but there are people that are like, yo, I not only do I want to get out of school and start my own business, I already got a suite while I'm in school. So now if they didn't get that information in school and they're not maybe looking for it online, they're going to run into that the method and our technical is going to run out. And now you got to understand, okay, how come I'm not making money?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the clients? How do I just got a DM for somebody and they're saying I'm booked. I got to close my books. What do I do? That's literally in my DM right now from someone I think in Texas. And my question is, are you prepared to scale?
Right.
Do you want to bring on staff? And I realized that from her concept, it's kind of like, give me a technical method way to fix this. I'm like, it's not. You got to turn into a leader now and duplicate yourself. And payroll and retail. So what I saw was all of these other elements that unfortunately there's a belief that they don't exist in our business. We're just creatives and that'll fix everything. Talent, and you've been saying it all week, guys. Talent, unfortunately, guys, is not enough.
Right. Yeah, it'll take you a little ways, but it's like there's got to be some of those other pieces to the puzzle that are there if you're going to be in it for the long haul.
Yep.
And so I love the M's. So I hope you guys were taking notes on all the M's because that's really critical. Because, like, where do we start? Like, I heard a lot of people during, particularly when we were on lockdown, kind of all together, everybody's been kind of scattered, lately, but it's like, oh, I can't wait to get back to normal. And I was like, there's not going to be a normal like we used to know it for a while. So what do we need to know to be able to move forward in 2020 with what is?
Wow. So I talk about it on my platform, pretty much anywhere that I am, about the station and the store. I've been talking about that for years. It was something that I preached in my salon, and it's something that anybody that's gotten halfway close to me, they've heard me talk about the station and the store. And that was one of the first things I wanted people to consider when they said 2 weeks. And I'm like, because I was looking, my wife and I are also connected to a wellness initiative. That's a huge part of what we do with Torregano Group. So we were working with a company that was giving us insight on what was happening in Wuhan with product, with the virus as a whole. So I was kind of bringing that information from our kind of Better Lives community and saying, listen, guys, I don't think this is going to be 2 weeks. I don't think this is going to be just a summer. Like, prepare that all of these holidays that we think we may not see them. Then I started realizing that different states was doing different things. Georgia, our governor was like, go ahead, do your thing. And then California had 3 shutdowns over last year.
Right.
I was talking to people that were in Brooklyn or in the Bronx in New York, and that was different. Maryland, in your area, was very touch and go. So the first thing I realized is, okay, guys, and this is important, guys. This is important. And I sometimes I get a little animated about this situation is because as a beauty pro behind the chair, I want us to know that the beauty industry is wide. It has a lot of players, and people say something that's a misnomer. They say that the beauty industry got shut down last year, and that's not true. The salons got shut down.
Exactly.
The beauty industry as a whole, it exploded last year. Right. So, but since many of us are not connected to product, we're not retailing enough. I'm not saying some of us are not, but I have a level of R&D that I think is very unique. I have talked to thousands one-on-one and hairstylists for the last 15 years. Right. I've been in the internet every day since 2009. And I asked the question, are you retailing? How much? How often? And it's none, not really, a couple dollars. So when they locked our hands down last March, it was time to get the store open, but we weren't prepared. I ain't gonna say we weren't prepared. A lot of people was like, I don't sell retail, when in actuality, there's a lot of people that saw amazing sales that could carry them over. They could sell locally, drop it off to customers in their area because the client was still trying to get their hair done. So number one, I think we've got to never get lost in just styling in our station. Like that can't be so honestly, we need to get to about 60-40 in percentage in income. I think you should be bringing in, if you look at your net income for the year, 30 to 40% of that should be in retail, especially with the internet. Especially when you can ship a box that I can, if this were a product, I can put this in a box and this could be on your doorstep in 3 days.
Right.
Anywhere in the country, pretty much. So that's number one, is the station and the store. Number two is, I think we've really got to get serious about our health. I get to maybe the business part, but we've got to be mindful that massage therapy, styling, even things like a restaurant, but certainly our business, we can't, we can't be contactless. So we've got to fortify ourselves, which is one of the reasons why we've done things like a health initiative called Trim the Tribe, when we were really encouraging people to get their weight managed and eat cleaner and supplementation, which is like, Ray, I want to learn color. Yo, man, your number one tool in your toolbox is your body.
Absolutely.
And now there's an airborne virus that can sit you down for 2 months at a time and put you on a ventilator. You got to prepare.
Yeah.
Not just cleaning, but inside of our body. So we've got to get real focused on our personal health and for our staff. Another thing is, I think we've got to think about, how can I say, we can't take as many people.
Right.
So we got to think money, like how much do we charge? I think everybody should really go from a hamburger to a steak in their service offer. Like the fact that you need one person at a time. Now we need to raise the ticket, raise the experience, raise the value, so you can still make the same amount of money. Because what people are dealing with is, I can't take as many people, less money. I wasn't selling retail, clients are not coming back, less money. My prices won't allow, in order to make the money, I gotta do so many different people. So let's retail, guys. Let's make it a real part of our business. Not just your clients, but online, because everybody's making money. Product, tool, education.
Right.
Nobody stopped.
Right.
Except for the behind the chair, which is the backbone of the industry. And I am just feverishly trying to unlock that entrepreneur in us. If you're listening to me, if you don't get nothing else, you are in business doing hair. You're not a hairstylist that's trying to maybe do business.
Right.
It is okay. I release you today to get paid for this.
Yeah, it's a shift. It's a mental shift that we've not embraced making for a long time. I mean, I think you've probably had your message for a long time. I've had a message for a long time. And we have to take control of ourselves, first of all, our minds and how we see ourselves, to be able to make that shift, to say, it's like, well, wait a minute, and I think, for me, like retail, it's like, I didn't complete the service if my client didn't leave with what she needed to take care of it after she left. It was a partnership. And so, it's like I help my team to see that too. It's like, how are you going to be, professional, trained, talented, all of these things, and I take all the products out of the salon? What are you going to do?
And here's what I heard. Here's what I hear. Here's some of the common things I hear. I forgot. Or my clients don't use products. Or what if I sell them the products and they don't come back to the salon? Or I've even had people, to be real honest, and say, I don't want them to think that the product is doing the work. So I don't sell retail because I want them totally dependent on me. I don't like to sell. Again, none of that is discussed in cosmetology school, for real. And the idea of selling to an artist, a lot of times, it is like a dirty word. It's like, ugh. When I try to suggest, what about recommendations, guys? What about suggestions? What about, as a doctor, you're responsible for the prescription because they're going to go purchase the product. And early on in my career, I got a sense, I got to see the amount of money, and just it has exploded in the last 10 years with natural hair. And I'm like, guys, we got to get in, we got to get a piece of that.
Right.
And more people are beginning to get their own products. I'm excited about that. We got people that have retail campaigns and they understand, they got access to thousands of people online. And it saved a lot of people during the pandemic, but it's a fight because it doesn't feel like it's supposed to live in the same space of artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Sales sounds dirty, and art is freedom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to see if we can go back to those things that you're hearing and just kind of almost break down one by one.
Yep.
What does that really look like? Because we're saying it, it's coming out of our mouths. We believe it when we say it, and it's not true.
not true. And I wanted to say that. Thank you for saying that. None of that's true. When somebody says, I forget, that's not true. You didn't forget it. It's just, we don't think retail is an asset. We think it's a liability. Or maybe you did forget. Maybe Raymond as a stylist got so caught up creatively that we didn't think. I mean, this is not something new.
Right.
There's a reason why there's a beauty supply store in every corner. They would not exist if we were retailing.
Right.
I mean, not for real. And now there's entire chains, not without naming names, but they're in plazas, they are setting up shop. And it's funny, I went in one recently. I just had to go in. I'm not a fan. And the question oftentimes is, how's business? Because they need to know if 1,000 of y'all are busy, we ain't got to do no marketing. You're just going to walk up in here and just pick up the product. And it's like, yo, that's an opportunity. So no, you didn't forget. They will come back to your salon. That's not true. Places like Walmart, Walgreens, TJ Maxx, Ross, websites, influencers, bloggers, they wouldn't be after the product game, guys. Right? So every celebrity got a hair product line. There's a reason, but it's almost as if our blinders can't see because it looks like $20 or just $10.
Okay.
Write this down, guys. Your retail should pay your real estate.
Yeah.
At my height of my business, my retail paid all the bills in the business. Everything.
Right.
Which means, and my assistant, payroll, and the receptionist. Imagine that. Imagine if your retail took care of every expense in the business and paid weekly for a receptionist and an assistant. That alone should make people think like, whoa, with the staff, what could I do with my income and the income generated from either booth or commission if just the retail paid the real estate? So none of those things we said are true. It's just we don't want to kind of swallow that pill and say, whoa, I'm a business owner. I'm over the finance department. I'm over the marketing department. I'm over the management.
Right.
I'm not just the technician. I'm the CEO that governs every department. And if I don't run the money, I can run myself right out of business.
Right. Right. And many do.
Yep.
Many do. And so with thinking about retail and the client not coming back, I think, where do you feel like that fits in? Because I think there's a sense that we have to make people come to us versus partnering with them to make sure that they're getting a great experience each time. And there's something in that, I don't know if it's a self-confidence or a, self-esteem type of thing, but it's like we're like on pins and needles and eggshells with our clients instead of feeling like, okay, my real job is to fill these slots, fill these seats. And it's like, I'd love for you to be the one in it, but if you're not, then I'm going to still fill it.
Man. So here's an example. Again, using other businesses to get some understanding. Restaurants are on every corner, and so is grocery stores. So people could go buy everything that they're going to eat. I had a couple weeks ago, I went and got pasta. Everything that I ate at this Italian restaurant, I can go buy. Right. And to all the people that know me, I'm trying to learn how to cook, so I'm getting better. But restaurants make money every single day because it's not just the actual meal. They could make the actual meal, but it is the experience. It's the way that you're serviced. It's how the meal is prepared. It's the fact
Mhm.
that it's done for them. Um, so, but oftentimes, again, man, restaurants, for example, there's a chef that's a creative, but then there's like an owner of a restaurant and there's a wait staff. My whole family worked in restaurants. That's something I don't get a chance to express. That as I've gotten older, somebody asked me that recently, maybe about a year ago, and I realized, like, yeah, man, I've always been around people that served, that were servers in New Orleans. You've been in New Orleans before, Miki?
Oh yeah, and that food
Yeah,
is
it's
off the
amazing, right?
chain, like the best
So
in the world.
best in the world. So imagine that my grandfather, right? I'm the third. I'm Raymond Torregano the third. So my mother and my father met working in a restaurant. My brother wait tables and worked in a restaurant and was a bartender. My dad waits tables to this day. My grandfather waited tables till he passed away. Every I'm the only person that didn't work in a restaurant. And that's why
Okay.
I know if this head thing don't work out, which it has, I can always go serve tables, right? So why
Right,
am I
right.
saying is because there's so many moving parts that make a restaurant go, so people know it's about this whole experience versus right now we're probably at about 50% solopreneur, suite, mobile. I'm not saying that the open concept salon is gone, but it is changing.
Right.
So oftentimes when it comes to um, the business, there hasn't been a full consideration of a reason why this business is happening, or a mission statement, or an experience, or a level of choreography, or how the client is coming, why they're coming. I
Mhm.
oftentimes tell people, name your community, right? Like, one of the most powerful, I think, social media tools that people can use that are business owners in the beauty profession is a Facebook group, where you know that there's an audience of people that you're serving, that's your customers. But so often, if we only feel as if they're our canvases and we're doing our art, then yeah, if I give them the tools, that's the art. I have what I'm saying in that, and this is me, guys. I try to keep it real. What we're admitting is I don't really have anything else to offer
Mm,
but
mhm.
the shampoo,
Yeah,
the conditioner, the
right.
developer, and the color. I don't have a reason. I don't have a thing. I wasn't worried about selling the retail because it was the whole rhythm experience that I realized. As a matter of fact, I didn't even hire people if they came talking just about their talent.
Right. Hmm.
What? You just got a portfolio? Thank you. Have a good day. We don't sell hairstyles.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I think what you just said is what I saw a lot of during the early part of the pandemic. There's a lot of panic, of course, but people were like, if I can't stand behind the chair and touch my client and do their hair, then I don't have anything else to offer. Not even realizing why their clients come to them, what other services they need while they can't come to you, and what type of, like the, virtual consultations, walking people through how to take care of their hair, like you said, getting them the products that they need to, bring that hair back to you in some kind of decent condition, rather than it's like, oh, I just ran here or picked up something or ordered something. It's like they need to hear from you. And plus, it's the relationship that
Hmm.
is the foundation of your business. And so keeping that relationship going is one of the key things. But we just see it's like, oh, I can't use my hands. I'm out of business.
I could just lead the interview right now because that was good. Listen, guys, I'm gonna tell you even deeper than that, Miki, is it really challenged people's identity.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was a unspoken void, right? Like the clinical definition of depression is a void. It was the void of and listen, it's our livelihood, so there's nothing wrong with that, but it was wrapped around I don't get to do my thing. I remember talking to somebody that was an owner. I was like, what about your clients?
Right.
And in so many words, what they were saying is, I can't even really think about them because I'm not able to do my thing. And I had to speak to that, right? Using that person as just like a litmus test is like, whoa, like this thing, people, let me say this. We talking. I remember. So my birthday is March the 11th.
Okay.
So I was out to dinner.
Mm,
And on my birthday, and a partner of mine called me and was like, yo, man, they didn't shut down the NBA.
mm,
What? Like, I
right.
had just got back from out of town to a leadership conference in Vegas, and we kind of heard, but as Americans, that's not going to get over here.
Right.
But if you can remember, March the 11th is when like the proverbial hit the fan. So I remember very vividly because I was out to eat, and that next day the world started shutting down. I remember talking to my wife, and I'm saying, service industry businesses are going to be the first one that has to get shut down. She was
Hmm.
like, you think so? I was like, there's no way. We're
Right.
going to be the first in line that they say has to be shut down. And I'm saying, I said to her, I said, this is going to mess people's head up because what percentage would you think, Miki, of people enter this industry with this mentality? I want to enter in an industry where I can do my thing and can't nobody tell me what to do, and I can be able to do my thing and can't nobody tell me what to do.
Right.
And now that was true for years and years and years until the government said it's illegal now.
Right.
You can go to jail. It really messed people up because the belief is like, well, we're untouchable.
Right.
And now it was really a way for people to, it was a wake-up call for how are we going to go forward. And there wasn't enough. There was some initially, but people surprised me, man. And I was excited to see that they started thinking and started doing things like virtual, like you said, consulting, and sent boxes that was, maintenance boxes and hold you over boxes and, drive by, pick up, retail. People were, but a lot of people didn't make it out of that because there was they couldn't code switch to how can I care for the client, even to the point that I was like, care for them by just giving them information, but I'm not making no money. They've given you so much money over the years. You
Hmm.
want them to be ready. I had a whole broadcast about make sure that you're caring for the people enough so when they do open it back up, they come back because whoever cares for them during this time, that's where they're going to go when the thing opens up. So it was tough. A lot of different industries, but certainly the beauty industry, we had never experienced where we couldn't go into business. We couldn't. The
Right.
client wouldn't come and we couldn't go. So I'm so glad to see that so many people recover because I was worried. I almost felt like it was. I almost felt like I was like, I'm not doing the pandemic, but there's so many people that look to me and you and others. So we did feel it. We woke up each day like, how can we help?
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think what you were talking about with the I'm trying to think of which part is like you said so many great things,
All right.
but with the clients, it's like we're in the midst of a true health pandemic, globally. And so, one of my first thoughts is I hope my clients are okay. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just the first thing, even before the money thing, even before the let me help them take care of their hair thing. It's like I wasn't even doing hair, but I had built relationships with clients. So I was texting them, are you okay? Is your family okay? And I think, like you said, we kind of got into that self mode to a degree that it's like we weren't even thinking. It's like these are people we interact with on a really personal level, and it's interesting as far
Yeah,
as
it is. And I think that 10 years from now, with our children, with our nieces and nephews, with younger stylists, we'll say, hey man, the pandemic, oh man, it made us think a lot differently about how valuable these people are. I try to correct people every day that use that word canvas. I'm like, guys, I know what you mean. I know you're an artist, but that's a person. That
yeah.
is a person. People lost family members. They got sick. They lost their jobs. There was so many things that this thing did. I was just out with my wife the other day, and I was like, man, I was just driving, and it's a lot of release signs. It's a lot of things that never open back up. I mean, cosmetology schools didn't make it through this.
Mm,
Companies didn't make it through this.
right.
Can trade shows come back after this?
Mm,
Some of them are beginning to gear up to have events, but I just did an event And I'll be honest, it was on my mind the whole time. And it was just 15 people in the room, but it was kind of like, we still in a pandemic, so 50,000 people at a trade show, I don't know. And it just affected so many things. So yeah, it's so important, guys, to remember. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for my opportunity as a salon owner and the period that, not saying that it can't happen today, but I'll be honest. One of the reasons why I created Sweet Dreams on Clubhouse is I am mindful that there is an enormous amount of people that are in the beauty industry now that have never worked in our open concept salon. They have always worked and will always from now on work by themselves. So they are dealing with this thing by themselves. So I'm thinking of ways to share and be mindful of, keep it about the customer, think about them, text blast, marketing, because without the people, none of this works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So tell us, like with being in a suite, like you said, a lot of people are coming right out of school, going right into the suite, and they have never experienced anything else. What are some of the things that you feel are like the missing pieces that they really need to, like a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing? I know you gave us the M's, which is really important, but is there like a kind of step-by-step, or if someone's thinking about, maybe I should make that move into a suite?
1, 2, 3. So I definitely think even inside of the M's, that primarily I've been on like a health transformation, really. Been losing weight and trying to learn a lot differently. Was probably about pre-diabetic about 5 years ago. Had a lot to do with the hustle and bustle of doing what we do in the beauty industry. It's another huge part of what we do.
Right.
That's the better, sure, it's all about that. But I use this as an example. No matter what you're doing, wherever you are in health, you'll hear words like meal plan. You'll hear things like what you're eating, right? The doctor will tell you what you're having a disease, what are you eating, right? And how that's so much more important than even activity. I mean, I ran 3 miles today. That was about 300. That's about 300 calories. 300 calories is a Coke and a burger. I could have put that right back in my body. No, and that was 3 miles. I was tired. So meal plan, what does that got to do with the business? I think that there is one of the things that people have to understand is that your marketing is your meal plan for your business. And many people are going into the suite or isolated situation out of a feeling of creativity or talent. I want to do my thing. And I am just preaching from the high heavens, like, okay, what plan do we have in place to not only have the chair filled, but with the right person? Because you only have one set of hands, one body. If you're in 200 square feet, 300 square feet, these are the things that I'm hearing, that either people have no clients or they're booked up and they have to close off their books, which means they're losing money. How can you we have something in the tribe we call keep it 100. How do you keep it 100 each client to do 6 people a day, $600 a day, $3,000 a week, to make significant income, not just to bring the money home and put money on your ear, but you now hold all the responsibility for all of the bills. Right. So what are you doing on a daily basis, Raymond, as a suite owner in Columbus, Georgia? I'm just using myself as an example, to generate client interest, customer acquisition, like any other business, customer conversion over to get the right customers, no drought, you can't afford it, right? So and to keep and maintain that client, what are you doing in marketing? And here's what I hear, which is why I talk about social media so often. Do I ask them, are you doing a billboard, magazine, television, radio, vending, celebrity endorsement, paid ads? And here's the faces that I get when I say that in every platform for the last 5 to 6 to 10 years. How are you getting clients? Here's what, and then I tell them, so I say that without you telling me word of mouth from your customer, because word of mouth oftentimes means I let somebody else tell other people how great I am. Word of mouth does exist, but when people say that in the beauty industry, what they're saying is, I don't do anything. Right. I let my clients talk about me, right? I don't do nothing. I just let Miki, she's my client, and she tell her other people that she hang out with. What other thing are you doing? So they say social media. And I'm like, okay, cool. how often and what I find is there is not enough, or there needs to be maybe a beefed up plan for marketing. And then secondly, so two of the M's, because people know how to do hair, right? Some of the talent that I see is just mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
The guys, if you don't have a meal plan together, which is your marketing and understanding the money, like, and that's sticky. We're not supposed to talk about money. We're not supposed to talk about the bills and income
They're
I
coming whether you talk about them or not.
they coming. I even have a new reel, and I'm like, yo, they coming. I don't know if you saw it, but
I didn't see it yet. But
yeah, them bills coming. And we're not supposed to talk about generating income, generating wealth, which here's where it's going to start dealing. You're going to be tight at the business. You're going to be overworking. That's going to creep into your household.
right.
Many people are, not many, but there's some people that may be in trouble in business, but because we deal with cash and we don't maybe have, I didn't have an understand. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about people. I didn't understand marketing.
Right.
I didn't understand the books. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for people like friends of mine, my wife, who has a totally different personality. And she was like, how come you keep screaming you don't have enough money? I don't. You don't understand. I'm a hairdresser. And she's like, write everything down. And I was like, all right, boom, 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 boom. And then she's like, okay, well, what goes here? That money. And then I'm looking on the books. I'm like, wait a minute. Where is that money? Right. And I realized, I wasn't budgeting. I didn't have a budget. I didn't have calculation. I didn't have any accountability. Mm-hmm. And again, that's like, who wants to think about that? I just want to do hair. And because I'm not blaming the schools, but because it's such a push to say, go do your own thing, people get out in this water of sweet ownership, and it looked like it's a 5 feet deep pool. And then they get in it 90 days after the deviled eggs, and you paint the walls, and you make your business card, and you get a little champagne, maybe. What about some Rotel dip? Everybody got some wings at their grand opening. You get your face done. You get your big scissors, and you cut it, and you have your friend that's a photographer take the pictures, and you get 300 likes on Facebook. Congratulations, Miki. I'm so proud of you. And then everybody that's your friend and your family, they come and get one hot appointment for $75. And the next month comes.
Yep.
And then 3 months after that. And then it's like, whoa, I'm in here. Like this month, February, this the month that take people out. Because it's just about done.
Right.
So everywhere take people out. So now I'm saying what I would encourage people to do is grab books like Total Money Makeover or financial books that teach you how to budget and live below your means. Try to get out of debt, guys. If you're in debt, try your best to have a plan to remove that. So if times come and it gets tight, like last year, right? That's a whole nother thing that people were in crazy debt and the money stopped.
Right.
So try to get books like that. Try to go to conferences that have nothing to do with hair. So you can learn money and management. Get on the tribe membership and other platforms. Follow people like Miki Wright that are telling you, listen, guys, let's talk about debt. Let's talk about balancing money. Let's talk about purchasing certain things, retailing. So the money, and then really get serious books like Purple Cow or that really teach you how to have a brand that's attracting people in. Start thinking differently about your meal plan now, really speaking to people, be it social media or any other way of marketing, where they know you are the go-to space. So you can bring in, don't reject scaling, right? If you're at a point in your business where you're booked solid, it might be time to leave the suite. It might be time to get a bigger space. Don't have the mentality that you're trying to keep all of the money. You need an assistant. You need a receptionist. You need staff. That's how it's designed to go. If you got to the limit of what you cook in a restaurant, you hire more cooks. But that it's almost kind of like I'm in a suite and I don't want to do anything more. And so all of the 6-figure, 7-figure talk, guys, we can get there, but we've got to expand. And I'm seeing some exciting things. Ironically, a lot of youngsters, like under 25, like they coming in with a different mentality. A lot of people coming from corporate have a different way to do business, and it's exciting to see. More and more people are looking at the internet. It's not stuff, guys. That internet stuff is not.
So pause right there and talk to us, because you're really great on social media, and you mentioned marketing. So tell us the difference between marketing and social media.
Such a good. You're good. You're good, Miki. Okay. This is good. This is good. So this is good. So marketing is not new. And merely to me, social and media is not new. But people feel like, watch this switch. Social media. That sounds like it's new. It's like something new. Like we say it real fast together. So marketing, guys, it doesn't matter the business, whether it's Nike, the Super Bowl, Aflac, Apple, Polycom. It doesn't matter the business. Germex. It doesn't matter. You have to figure a way to bring in customers, clients, patients, whatever, to that thing purchase. If you have a consumable product, if you have an ongoing residual, you have to generate. That's a part of the business. It's not. I know we think that the talent alone. I'm not going to. Let me stop saying that. It's just that I hear it so often, and I know it. Because I don't want to. I don't want you to think. Because there are some people out here that are making my head spin on how creative they are, how business minded they are, marketing gurus, people that I learned from. So let me be very clear. That is a huge part of the industry. But if there is somebody struggling with business, understanding that marketing is as much of a component as the talent. So much so that I think it's about 4 times as much more important, similar to eating. You got to be much more conscious of what you eat. For instance, you could change your diet and lose a ton of weight without working out.
Mm-hmm.
You could work out every day, twice a day, and never change your diet and never lose a pound. True, right? So the same thing is, there are people that are not very talented all the time, but incredible with client generation, client conversion, and acquisition, and they have an incredible business. Right. And sometimes as a creator, we could be like, I don't understand, Miki not even that good like that.
Right. Yeah.
How come she always booked? Because it's 4 times more important. So marketing is this: supermarket, stock market. It's a place where people are going for buying and selling. Any kind of market. You go to supermarket to buy and sell goods, especially the market that we had coming up, like farmers market. You just pick through and you kind of decide what you want. Stock market. A lot of people are on Bitcoin and stock market right now. So market is where the consumer or the end user is looking to find what they want to buy, sell, or purchase.
Okay.
And they're the mark, really. Like you're trying to shoot a mark. Sometimes that's using a derogatory term, like I'm trying to get the mark, but they're the mark. They're the target that we're going for, the mark. And then the market is where they're gathering. Marketing is communicating with people that are the mark, that are looking to purchase and buy at the market. So marketing is the communication to people who are looking to buy good product or service. How do you speak to them? Visually, audio, written, body gesture, video, social media, billboard, radio, television. All of those are form of communication to speak to someone that's looking something. They call things like top of mind marketing. Sometimes it's just a billboard that just tell you in a mile there's a McDonald's. That's subliminal marketing, communicating with you to get something to eat. Sometimes you got push marketing, buy, right? We get some push marketing that we hate, spam. Other people are pull marketing. Nike's never really told you to buy a sneaker. They have this level of like magnetic communication that draws us into being, I want to be a champion, so I get Nike. You don't feel that with Reebok. You just don't. You don't feel like you're about to go win with like Elites or New Balance. Not like that, right? But Nike and Apple and these companies, Tesla doesn't say buy a car. It just says we're the future, right? So now what's social media? So social media, as we know it, is pretty much about 5 platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Now we got Clubhouse, which is really a form of social media.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn on some level. It tweens between like search or but social media is
And
really a
TikTok.
handful. Yeah, it's kind of like this handful of 6 or 7 platforms. Even YouTube is like a search engine, really, but people use this, of course, as a media outlet to be able to deliver some type of communication. So now social is not new, right? People were being social in the Bible.
Right.
They had media stuck to the tree during the Wild Wild West. Billy the Kid is wanted dead or alive.
Right.
That's media. That's a piece of physical communication that's telling people to buy something, purchase something, or look for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So traditional media was the newspaper. Then that turned into radio, right? And then all of these had platforms where people were buying and selling. People were looking at the newspaper every day.
Right.
That's where the attention was. Then the radio, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how old you are, Miki. You look about 30, 31, 29. But
Blush.
I hear my mama, right? So I hear my mother talking about listening to the radio, which sounds so foreign to me. It sounds like y'all was sitting around just listening to the radio. And luckily, again, unique career, Miki, is I had people that was in television, friends of
Mm-hmm.
mine. Some of my best friends in life right now are radio DJs and programmers for these. So they would talk to me about, yo, man, this is how we got to think. We got to get their attention with a show, DJ Fresh, incognito show, and then they will say things like, yo, we got to pay the bills.
Right.
So now that we got your attention, right? Like right now, I don't work for them, but since we got a lot of people attention, hey guys, buy Germex.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. That's what was happening in radio. Then television.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Now you can do these commercials every 15 minutes that sell. Magazines.
Yeah.
Flipping through, right? This magazine, articles getting their attention, and then there's an ad every 10 pages. Here's what's exciting, guys. All of those behaviors in every one of those genres, those things have went away. You don't see magazines as much. A lot of them companies are going out of business because of the internet. People are not watching program television. Right now, people are watching this on their TVs, in their homes, in their living rooms.
Right.
YouTube has become our television. Nobody operates without Netflix or a Fire Stick. Right? Nobody picks up a newspaper. 30% of the newspapers around the country are going out of business. This is the kind of stuff that I really nerd out on. Like some of them are operating once a week. They don't exist.
Right.
It's all digital. So now the behavior of newspaper, people still open up every day and want to read something, but they do it on Twitter. Written. People want to listen to the radio every day, but they don't go to the radio station no more. They go to podcast.
Right.
This will be on a podcast. This is a podcast. Podcast is just today's radio.
Right.
Right? There's something scrolling across the screen as we're talking.
Yep.
Video. So video is the new television. YouTube, Instagram. Now we got Facebook Live. And in my opinion, guys, the number one platform that people love in the beauty industry is Instagram. So it's not really new because the behavior of magazines just transferred over. Instagram's symbol is a camera.
Right.
So that one thing is going to help somebody. Oh, I need to create content that feels like somebody flipping through a magazine. And since I now control the features and the captions and the photos, I'm justified in giving them advertising. Hey guys, come to my salon and be a client because 10 posts in a row, I gave you some level of value. It's not going to work, guys, if it's just commercials all day long. So social media is seeming to be this new thing, but really what's new is it's their responsibility that they're taking on to themselves to market their business. In the past, we would pay a radio, pay the TV, pay for the billboard. But since a lot more people are not doing traditional advertising, what's new is this feeling of it's my responsibility. But giving content to come behind and say I have something to offer, that's not really new. But social media is the number one way that nearly every brand is utilizing to communicate with their customer because people are waking up and going to sleep with their cell phone like it's a human being. My wife calls this my girlfriend. There you go with your girlfriend again.
Okay.
So once we get that, if we want to reach our customer, they're online.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that was fabulous. I love the breakdown of everything. I see some comments. This Rhonda Moffitt, this way I love Torregano. Keeps us on our game.
Hey, Rhonda.
We've got
I'm actually looking at the stream over here. This is really, really cool.
Cool.
So I can shout out a lot of people. Hey, John. Hey, Halima. Hey, everybody that's listening.
Hey, Halima. Yeah, we've got like someone here has Facebook user. If you're on Facebook, at the bottom of where this is posted, if you want us to see your name, it's like you can give StreamYard permission at that point and we can see who you are. But they're saying the new radio is Clubhouse. So thank you for that. And True Beauty says Profit First is a great book. I've got that. I don't know if you can see it in my background, but it's like we were just talking about that on my mastermind yesterday.
Excellent book. Excellent book.
Yeah.
That's actually, honestly, in today's time, I probably would suggest that right up, if not even before, Dave Ramsey. That's an excellent book.
Yeah, it's revolutionary just in the way it flips everything you've ever like heard or known. I was like, where was this book 20 years ago? You know. But Donna Smith Jenkins says, yes, budgeting is everything. It's like, we're loving your comments, you guys. So let's see. It's like we've got lots of comments here. It's sad today's artists don't know the love of Open Concept Salon. You learn so much from each other, positive energy. You grew with each other. This is a good topic. So thank you for that. And
I'll say this because I never want. I work too much with younger stylists or today's stylists, and I love the suite idea. I think it's an incredible opportunity, and there's some things you can do in a suite that you cannot do in Open Concept. So I hope I can just say that, Miki, that I'm not against it. I have an entire group that's called Sweet Dreams. It's just what I'm focused on is the fact that, okay, maybe they didn't, like my nephew, he has no concept of a payphone. He don't understand, like payphone in the middle of the street. So in my mind, I'm like, keep doing what you're doing in the suite. I think honestly, it's something on the horizon. The suite is going to be in the back burner. We're about to see at least probably about 2025, 30% of our industry will be mobile and traveling. Okay. That's happening. That's going to be happening very quick. That's the new move. It's going to be like, I don't even need a suite.
Right.
I just need equipment and GPS. So I think we're even passing through the suite concept. It's just take yesterday's understanding, take the future of where we think it's going and learn from it. So I am pro suite, but because we had a lot of challenges even in Open Concept. So I love that point, but we ain't have it all right in Open Concept neither.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like you say, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
And H Styles Out Loud said she started a Facebook group during the shutdown from Ray's.
Yeah, guys, listen. I'm sorry, Miki. If I'm talking too much, stop me. Because I think about this. I tell people, and sometimes this helps people. I'm like, guys, let's say if it was Miki, I stopped doing hair behind the chair and closed my salon in order to do something new in 2016. So I never saw stories as a business owner, a brick and mortar business owner. Okay. I never saw Facebook Live. It didn't exist. This is absurd that there was no Zoom. You in Maryland, I'm in Columbus, Georgia. We got through the technical difficulty, and somebody watching this on YouTube and Facebook, none of this existed. Right. So, and Facebook groups, how we know them today, that's not what they look like in 20. So I'm telling people, like, please utilize this because I don't even get a chance to use it. If I'm talking about for like a brick and mortar. Right. And even now, the tribe membership, online education has become very, very popular in the last year. But even when I tried to do it, when I started it in 2016, people was looking at it like I had two heads because it's like, what? Paying once a month, I'm like, guys, this is where it's going. This is where it's going. So to me, everybody on here, get a Facebook group, name your community. Like I have the Torregano tribe, name them, love on them. It will be the best social media network you have. It's your community. It's your people. Grow that.
Mm-hmm.
even before I think other platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
good job, Halima. She crushed it. Literally, I mentioned it one time. She did it that night and showed me, and she exploded. And she drove a lot of retail sales through that Facebook group.
Mm. Yeah, Halima's killing the game, so I love
Oh,
it.
crushing it.
Yeah, really grateful we got to have an interview and it was off the chain. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely, it's like, and if you need to boost your income and boost what you're charging, she's got it. She's your girl.
For sure.
And let me just show this one as well. Billie Jean Thomas says your retail should play your real estate. That's good.
Take it, guys. Take that. Take
Yeah.
that. Push. Even if it's not there now, see if it'll change your mind just trying to make that a goal. It'll change you. It'll
Right.
shift you
Right.
like, how can I get this to pay all of my bills? It'll keep it on the top of your mind and realize how much money is available in retail.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And you really helped me understand the business and not just hair. That's Donna Smith Jenkins. So
Yeah, shout out to Donna. She's been following me for a long, long time. Shout out to Donna. Thank you.
yeah. And Robin Rivera, Raymond is awesome. He's transparent and real. So love it. Yeah. So
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you everybody for all your comments and everything. And we are like winding down time, but before I let you go, it's like I want to ask you to recap something that you were sharing on Clubhouse, I think the other day, with Instagram. Like Instagram is kind of the spot for what we do because it's so visual.
Yep.
And you explained the difference between a post, the difference between the stories, and the difference between reels. And that was helpful for me because it's like, I was like, oh, okay, that's what you're supposed to be doing on these different things. Because for some of us, it just feels like I got to do something else, So,
I know, guys. I know it. Listen, I went through it. I am not, I'm not somebody that did not do it. So for 10 years, I was a salon owner. I mean, day in and day out, wearing black, trying to figure out, does it make sense to go home? Because you're getting off at 11 o'clock. You got to be back at 7 and eating in the bathroom and eyes hurt, knees swollen. I did it, man. And I am one of you. This is the tribe membership and everything that we do at Torregano Group, myself and my wife, we do this full time, guys. This is our full time profession. It's FUBU. It's for us by us. So I definitely know, man, you got to do something more. But my thing is, don't do social media if you're going to pay for marketing. But if you're not paying for marketing and it doesn't exist in your business, then my question is, remember, that is the meal plan. So if you're going to say that social media is it and it's Instagram, then my advice, I literally just left a training, right? So I'm beginning, it's funny. Well, it's not funny. But what's interesting is more and more I'm getting asked to speak or go to conferences, people that's not even in the beauty industry. Like even with Torregano Group, we work with other industries, fitness, health, because I realize business is business is business, right? Marketing is marketing, customers is customers. People want to be able to have balance and be home with their family. Like literally when I leave here, they're having a birthday party at my house for my sister-in-law, right? So I love work, but work is not my life. So I want to build a business that works so it don't take over and eat my life. Shout out to my cousin, Cash Parrott. That's one of his phrases, man. Don't let this thing eat your life. So if you're going to do IG, here's how I think you should play it, guys. This is valuable game. Number one, don't think about just timeline. Timeline should be one of the tools. But not only is Instagram holding back a lot of people seeing it, it's only one of the ways that you can share and communicate to your audience. And with so many people scrolling, I would encourage you not to use that. Timeline is like your magazine. So think about it. If your business or brand, right? True Beauty, if I saw one of that name come across screen. So not True Beauty, just the hairstyle, but the whole world. If you've ever been to like a Ralph Lauren or a Donna Karan or these fashion houses, they have like this whole aesthetic. Bring down your timeline, these beautiful imagery that kind of is where your client would flip through if it was a magazine. Remember, Instagram is like your digital magazine.
Okay.
But that's one of the legs of the octopus. That's one way to get into the house. Imagine that your customer is in a house and you're trying to get to them. That's the front door. But let's go through the window now. The window is stories. So stories shouldn't be the same type of thing. That was created. It is my jam. Unfortunately, I didn't even get any stories, so I'm gonna screenshot a couple images here because I have been talking about today. I've been promoting about today. And honestly, I know that more people will probably even be on this platform, see this as a result of what I did in stories than even my timeline. Because a lot of times, so stories is your behind the scenes camera. So stories today was getting up. I went running. I had lunch. I went to pick up some cakes. If somebody was filming me, they would have saw we had a little technical trouble. And, you know, so stories is this raw behind the scenes. And here's what I believe, Miki. It's so intrusive to a lot of people because we want to come off as perfect. Here's the problem with creatives is we want to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to be successful as an artist, you got to make mistakes every day. It's like, it's tough, right? So stories feels like I don't want nobody to see me getting up, unwrapping my hair and having a cup of coffee and walking my dog and talking to my children. I'm like, that's exactly what people are. They are. We're living in a world where they're obsessed with that type of content. They're obsessed with it.
So can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
What if that just seems like so boring? Like, why would I
try it?
Why would anyone care? You know what I mean?
Try it. Because here's what you'll find out.
Okay.
People know who you are. Let's say if it were you, right? Yeah. If I was your brother, if I was somebody who's working with you, and I said, Miki, I know you don't think so, but people want to know the results that they see. Like you dropped some content recently about winning those competitions. How much response did you get from that?
I think a lot.
Yeah, because people are curious. They see this beautiful smile and the skin and the hair. They see you, but they're kind of like, I want to know who she is. And we have never had an opportunity to share that level of who we are. Think about the #1 sports figures. They let us in. Mm-hmm. Think about the #1 actors, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Will Smith. Even Will Smith said, I got to come to Instagram. Why would you want to come to Instagram? Because it's the only way you're going to make movies now.
Yeah, okay.
People that's, I don't want to get online, you don't see them.
Right. Yeah.
People that got brand endorsements. I talk about Kim Kardashian. We can keep deflecting her like she don't have no skills. She is a genius. Her whole family. So stories, I know it seems boring, but do me a favor. Try it for yourself and don't judge it. But for 7 days, literally from the cup of coffee that you drink to the thing that you watch in the evening, make this shift. They're not your followers. They're an audience that choose to follow you, and they want to know what makes you Miki.
Okay.
They do. And it's going to blow you away.
Okay.
It's going to blow you away because I had to get over that hump. And then I realized, oh, wait a second. Every frame on stories is my DM. That means every time I post something, it's an opportunity to spark a one-on-one conversation. If I really if you hear me, I talk to people like, hey guys, good morning, man. Man, what y'all doing this Tuesday? Which sounds weird to people watching me until they see that, let's just say, it has brought in a lot of revenue and a lot of freedom. And it allows me and my wife to not be at our former professions. It's on the verge of being able to do some amazing things for my family. And I've been able to meet people in an entirely different way. So stories, I'm telling you guys, it's the secret sauce. It's your behind the scenes, raw, unedited. Don't make it perfect. Ray, I got coal in my eyes. Show them.
Okay.
I just want to be and don't get in stories and do what you're doing on timeline. It's different.
Okay.
Now, what's Instagram Live is what we're doing now. It's FaceTiming your audience. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I'm doing a Q&A. I'm doing an interview. I got a topic. It's an opportunity to talk to if you believe that they're your community. I literally, as I'm scrolling, them names, I know Jonda.
Right.
I know Halima. I've spent time with her. I know Rhonda. I'm going to eat from her pots one day in my life. I'm going.
I know that's right.
I'm going.
Put me on the list too.
Come on, jump in the car. These people, I have been able. Somebody said, "Well, Ray, how do you remember everybody's name?" I don't even know if that's a skill as much as I wake up every day. Watch this. Write this down, guys. And my mission is to collide with people every day. Every day I want to meet somebody new. Every day. Don't even go out to eat with me because I'm gonna ask the waiter how they're doing. How's it going? What do you suggest? What's your thing? Here go my wife. Here he go again.
Right, right.
I realize that's way more important. People don't care how much you know. They care. They want to
Right,
know how much you care, and they want to know who you are.
right.
So stories gives us the opportunity. Live, and you can get paid on live now, is this cool way to interact with people like we're doing. That is amazing. That didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
TV carousel is a way to kind of show people multiple images before and after your transformation, the business growing. So that's another feature to me that's a little bit different than even magazine. You get 10 frames going across.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
Instagram really highlights carousel. So think about that's one of the things I talked about this week. And that's another powerful tool for beauty professionals.
So instead of posting one image, post several images
Right.
that
And tell a story. So now one of the things we're going to talk about Wednesday on Sweet Dreams is how to create your own content for like a photo shoot or a collection. So for instance, the young lady that I did the photo workshop with this weekend, she showed like a beautiful set of images the second day of the workshop of her shooting seemingly a wedding. It was like textbook. And at the end, boom, the 10th frame was the advertisement for her workshop that she'll probably have again. So when
okay.
people are doing this, guess what? We got their attention. They're
Right.
staying longer, and Instagram triggers that to all of your other followers. This must be important. People are stopping. Let me show more of Miki's content to more people.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Got
the new one, the one that we think is all for kids, Reels. Ray, now you're not about to, you want me to do the silhouette challenge? No. Ray, you want me to do the bust it challenge? No. Not necessarily, unless you want to bust it. But what Reels is now is yet another tool in the toolbox. Think about what I'm about to explain about what it is versus Reels. It's 15-second clips where you can use music, video backdrop, movie reels that entertain people in a very clever way that people watch over and over and over. And the behavior is for people to share it out. I have done reels that have been shared out by 100 strangers.
Okay.
Which means 100 set of people's community saw me. It gets this in crazy engagement. More people see what's going on. And because Instagram is a bully and a gangster, they are trying to really compete against TikTok. So they're letting more people that follow you see your reels than they are your timeline. So it's something that figure out a way, guys, to do it your way. Like you just did one.
Yeah.
It was good.
Thank you.
It was really good. You don't have to
on it.
when I hear people say working on it, then subconsciously sometimes we believe I'm trying to make it as good as I saw Halima's.
Well, I'm trying to like figure out. The first thing is like, okay, one of my friends had a post which was like what button goes where.
I love it. I love it.
The whole video. It's like, yeah, that was me.
It's just like curling and blow drying. The more you do it, the more you'll see how can I use something to kind of tell this little bitty 15-second commercial story that I can deliver some value that people will save and share. So that's Reels. The next thing is TV, which is your version of YouTube. I think if you work Instagram right, it can be 10 platforms in one. So now there's TV, there's carousel, there's live, there's Reels, there's stories, there's timeline. And then one of the last things to me is locations and tags. It's important that people know that 2 billion people, by the end of this year, 2 billion people will be on YouTube on a weekly basis. There's only 8 billion people on Earth. So 2 out of 8 come to this platform every week. If there was a place in your city where 20% of the entire city always goes every week, and are looking to buy things and exchange with things and connect with things, we would go there every day. So to me, And here's this last thing, and I'm gonna unlock somebody. This not for kids. I tell 20 something and 30 something, I'm 43, right? I'll be 44 in a couple of weeks. I tell people that's younger than me, like y'all can't be better than me on social media. Because I tell my old staff, they were younger, they were 10, 15 years younger than me. Ray, you old. Listen, I'm way more experienced. I'm smarter than you, buddy. No, I'm just playing.
Okay.
But we've experienced a lot of things and we can age it up. Let me be clear. I'm not saying I'm smarter than them, but I used to joke with my staff. I love them to death, but I used to tell them, I'm going to be as good at this as you. I'm just going to do it as a 40-year-old. I'm going to do it as a 35-year-old. I'm going to include things that make sense for my demographic because we're on there. So don't let your children tell you that you don't belong on Reels. Mom, don't be on. You can dance. I'm going to communicate to my community. And sometimes 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people could have possibly seen that reel and been on this platform. And once I saw that, I'm going to figure that out.
Okay.
I'm going to figure that out. So, yeah, guys, there's more. Stories, highlights. That's like your tabs on your website.
And then tell us real quick, what are the tags and how do you utilize those?
Yeah, so tags, two things, hashtags, and then tagging what's in the photo, and then tagging the location. Here is a piece of game, guys. It'll explode your business. Go literally, Miki, what city are you in Maryland?
Actually, I live in North Carolina now. I'm in Raleigh.
Oh, okay. Okay. What city in North Carolina?
Raleigh.
Okay, you're in Raleigh. Okay. So when you go to IG and you use search, here's man, so many things, man. This has been good. It's been good. So I'm gonna rip this off the internet and use this. I love this. This is a great interview because I think a lot of people don't really know that I'm an artist. I'm very creative, but if you talk to me for 5 seconds, this is the stuff that I talk about every day. This is the kind of things that we talk about in Sweet Dreams, and certainly what we talk about every single day on the Tribe membership. But so the Instagram, again, it's like this huge set of thousands and thousands and millions of different little magazines and people intertwined and connected. And not everybody goes to the home button and scrolls. Some people, their user experience on Instagram every single day is to click the search button.
Okay.
A huge percentage of people, and that's another thing, is to work around and be around people that are not artists and creatives so we can learn. My wife is not necessarily an artist. She is a thinker. She's the engineer in the relationship. She is the line for line. And the way she uses Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook, I watch, and it's so different than how I use it. A lot of times she'll go to the search and she will go to topics or tags. She doesn't necessarily go flipping through the pages, and many people search their area.
Right. Okay.
So if you're in Raleigh, there's a section at the search key that says places. Most people, when they post, 70% of the people that post on Instagram, they will literally tell you what is in the picture with the hashtags and where they are. So if you're in Raleigh and you're a stylist in Raleigh, I know people in Raleigh, right? We got a huge community of people in the Tribe membership. Always been, North Carolina's been a huge supporter, right? So I know that area, right? So if you're in Raleigh, you can go to Raleigh down to the area. If you're in Charlotte, you can go down to NODA, right? In Charlotte and punch NODA, and then you'll see the last 24 hours or 48 hours of people that are in your area. I tell people, look through that. You're like, where? Oh man, I know where that's at. I know where that's at. I'm like, engage with them.
Right.
Be social on the media and connect with them because they're telling you where they are. Here's what I'm saying. With our content, let the community know that you're in Raleigh, that you're in Columbus, because we don't want to be nationally famous and locally broke. That ain't sexy.
Exactly.
I want to be all in these pages. I want Ray to repost me. Yo, I can't help you get money, guys. You need money. You need a business. You need to help your staff. You need to grow your brand, oftentimes in your city. So your location tag is so important. Second, please, guys, don't post another client without tagging them. When we say hold your head down, lean to the side, and then we write a caption that sounds like some description out of a hair book, we're saying we don't really care about the client. This is really all about us. People respond. Miki buys makeup not because of the brand, but because there is somebody with her complexion that's wearing it. She buys, how tall are you, Miki?
6 feet.
So you're 6 feet. So my wife is tall. My wife is 5'11". She had to wear flats at the wedding. Okay, so we're not playing them games. So when I see you standing, you're tall, right? So my wife, she would look at your style not because of the brand that you're wearing, but because you're also tall. You're also somebody that has maybe some of the same challenges that she may have because they don't make enough fly clothes for people that are tall, right? So she deals with that all the time. So why am I saying that? Is because if we begin to start telling stories of I'm tagging Miki, who lives in Charlotte, but from the DMV and is a stylist and loves dogs and is a Scorpio and loves to cook. Somebody say, well, what does it got to do with hair? It's not. This is not your website. It's social media. It's not your website.
Right.
Go to your website and just make it stern and asymmetric box. Go to your site. Oh, you don't have a website. Oh, you don't want to pay for a website. My bad. Okay. You don't want to invest any money in a website. So now you're trying to make Instagram your website. It's not.
You stepped on some toes right there.
I know. I'm sorry. But I'm here to help you. I want you to win. I want when I come to your city that you can buy me a drink and it don't cost you nothing.
Okay.
I want you to get out of debt. I want you to retire your mother. I want you to have no more trouble inside of your family with your husband or your wife. I want your kids to be where they want to be. I want you to have an off day. I want you to have a date night. I want you to have a business that you're proud of, clients that you love. So I can't sugarcoat it because I hear that so often that I just want to make everything my business page. It's not your business page. It's your page. It's social media. So we got to learn how to be social on the media, and tagging is one of the, I look at hairdressers all day long. And they're like, I didn't think to tag them. It was about, it's about your work. People don't respond to that. Not like we think. So tagging the people, telling stories in the caption, guys, it'll grow your, oh my goodness, Miki, I know where she lives. She's a teacher too? My goodness. And if we think about it long enough, clients don't come in our salon and talk about hair. They talk about life.
Exactly.
Travel, relationships. And then also, of course, hashtagging. And hashtagging is a way to kind of think about it like a card catalog, guys. I don't know if everybody remember card catalog. We might be aging ourselves, Miki.
Might have just gone right.
Card catalog. I don't understand. I just Google, you know.
Siri.
well, boys and girls, once upon a time in the library, you had to look through these little cabinets and say, oh, I'm looking for a book about gardening. It's on the second floor. So it's a way to organize what's happening and the interest on people instantly gramming their life. Here's the people that's talking about food. Here's the people that's talking about hair. Many of us are using hashtags that make us, I'm about to step on some more toes, Miki, is it okay?
Go ahead.
Some of us are focusing our hashtags on being seen and validated by our peers in the industry, which gives us this high and this kind of trigger and this metric of satisfaction. That's awesome if you're in the education, if you're training. But if you're trying to build a business in Columbus, Georgia, your hashtags need to talk about the city. It needs to talk about what's happening in the city. You need to follow people that's in the city so you can have insight to speak to the people. Remember, marketing is communicating people where they're looking. So hashtag, connect with the people. Location, help you connect with more people. And tagging inside of what we're doing, let people know that people is a part of your business.
I'm just going to leave it right there. It's like,
I ain't gonna touch it.
It's yeah, that broke down like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, this is what this is for. That's what that's for. That's what that's for. And I don't know if anybody else's mind works like mine, but when I can understand, you know, why I'm doing it, what is for, what the results are going to look like, then it makes sense for me to do it. Otherwise, I'm like, why would I bother doing that? So
I leave you with one more thing. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I had a staff that was 10 years younger than me on Snapchat, and they had dog ears and these funny. I was like, this is 2015. I was like, I don't get it. And then somebody grabbed me by the shoulders and said, Ray, Snapchat is giving your audience snapshots of your day and chatting with them all day long. I'm like, oh, I got it. I got that. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Snapshots of my day, chatting with my community all day long. Snapchat, got it. I'm on it. And as soon as I wanted to jump on Snapchat, stories happen. I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell you my daily story, what I'm doing. Right now, I'm going to screenshot and take a picture here, and then I'm going to get off in here and say, guys, man, listen, I had an incredible opportunity and exchange with Miki. I'm telling my story. And then part of my story is going to be me eating cake with my nephew. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
People, here's what I'm telling you, Miki. They really want to know.
I get it. I get it now.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being here. It's like we
Thank you.
have gone and this, but I wouldn't change a thing because it's like every syllable has been helpful. So thank you so much for being here. It's like we,
Sure.
the technology gods have smiled on us this evening. So we're able to.
Oh, man. I'm so glad we got it. Shout out to my sister-in-law. It's her birthday, too. But she was determined to help me out. Yeah, this is her computer. She's like, Ray, I'm going to get it for you because I know how important it is. So I got to thank her when I see her.
Yeah. So I've got Join the Tribe. Where can they reach you? Everywhere, I know, but go ahead and
listen, first off, let me just say thank you, Miki, for this is important because I'm 43, but I was a youngster, man, watching people like you and John Atchison and Carol Morrow, and I am very much one of the leaders seemingly of the new school, but I was in the trenches. I remember Detroit and all of Willie Morrow and all of the legends, the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s, people that paved the way. I saw people like Patrick come up and, so I remember Denise, I could just name them forever. So thank you for an opportunity to not only speak to your community and to share, but just to, kick it and us get connected because, again, I do think that I was there to see what happened in the 90s and the early 2000s. And I also see what's about to happen in 2030. So I feel responsible, almost like a hybrid, to connect and to share. So, guys, you can find me. My jam, my social media platform of choice is IG, just because I think it's like the greatest hits. It gives you a little bit of everything. I am on YouTube, guys, and I'm going to be relaunching and giving you a lot more things here. And I'm excited about this new platform that we are all kind of buzzing and learning about, which is Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I started there, and it was only about a week that I was there, in and out of rooms. And I just remember looking at my wife, and I was like, I need to start my own room. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to be in rooms, but I have a lot to share, and I know a lot of people, and I get what this is. But you don't really understand. I don't really need to understand all of the ins and outs. I know I can talk to people.
Right.
So we have a community that we just crossed over 300 people, man, inside of Sweet Dreams, which is our club. And as the platform grows, they'll give us more features that we can do. Now we have dedicated times, guys. So search on Clubhouse, my name, Ray Torregano, and you can search Sweet Dreams. We'll come right up. And now we have 5 days a week that we're on Clubhouse. Yeah. Tomorrow we've got wonderful. This will probably age, but because this will be living on internet. But for those that are watching today, up to tomorrow, we got a panel talking about content creating. And yesterday we talked about I had a Q&A, and then Sunday we talked about technical skills, and then Saturday it's more of a motivation, personal development, and then Thursday I'm interviewing a big time colorist in the industry, and just kind of, so it's a myriad of different things that we're doing in audio form. But my baby, our premier product is and I say this with no hesitation, it is the leading online education platform, I think, for beauty professionals in 2021. Hands down. We've been doing this for 5 years.
Instagram or the tribe.
Now the tribe membership. Yeah. Okay. So in 2016, guys, I kind of was seeing that I couldn't do enough classes to reach everybody. I did 26 classes in 2016. I did 2 conferences. I was building this community of the tribe membership and being online. And I knew I wanted to be online. I was done with the trade shows. I didn't want to work with companies. I had my own thing. I'm not an educator. I tell people, I've corrected somebody recently on my bio. I have my own form of education. That's different. That's not bragging. Is that I'm not an educator for a company. I have my own way of thinking, my own form of education, and I needed a platform. and I couldn't get everybody in the room, and I couldn't travel all over the country. Shout out to people
Right.
that do that. I'm done with the road. So then I took it to digital. So we launched an online education platform that we used to call the Netflix of hairstylists. But I don't use that any longer because I don't want people to think it's entertainment.
Right.
It's training. It's designed to be this hair show or this coach in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I made it at $14.99 that students in cosmetology can afford it, and somebody that had a chain of salons could afford it. It's totally internet available to anyone. We're excited that we just crossed over our 26th country.
Wow.
We're in nearly every state. And it's the thing that I'm just going to be double downing on. And what are you going to find there, guys? There are 52 step-by-step tutorials. I mean, everything that I know, I put it out there: balayage, cutting, color, blowout, you name it. It's designed for you to watch, recreate, and make money. There's 52 different things that are there. There's also in that paid wall, it's paid, it's a subscription. There's 50 episodes of a podcast. So it's mindset, things like rejection, station in the store, retail, management, all of that's there in podcast form. And then there's interviews similar to what you have here, where I interview industry leaders like the Halima Reddicks of the world, like the Marcus Harveys of the world, like the Oliver Adams, that really get raw, pull the cover back and tell you what happened. And then it's a community of people that some of these people are meeting even without me. So the tribe membership is $14.99. Everything's in my link, guys. And my email is connect@torreganogroup.com. And join Sweet Dreams, guys. That's totally free. Follow me on IG. I try to give you a show every day on stories. But if you really want to take your game from good to great and from great to phenomenal, no better place than the tribe membership. It is the lead dog in all. You know, I know there's been an explosion of online education, and I'm excited. I work with a lot of people, and there's some amazing platforms. But what's collected in that thing right now, after my 10 years of being on YouTube, is premier, is top notch. So thank you for having me, guys. Certainly join the tribe. But if I can help in any way, just jump in my DM. Ray, I saw you on Miki's broadcast. I want to know this thing. Jump in my DM. I answer everybody back. Every single person, I clear it out every day.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. Thanks everybody for watching. It's like we've got so many wonderful comments. Thank you, Dr. Smith Jenkins. Thank you, Miki and Raymond. It's been fantastic, full of useful information. Love you guys, and please be part of this. Yeah, so please spread the word, share this video, you know, on Facebook, and, you know, let some folks know on Instagram as well. We're also on podcast. We're still in the process of playing catch up with, we've done so many interviews. They're not all on there yet, but there's some good stuff on there. So that's on Apple iTunes, or really your favorite station. We're pretty much all over. But want to invite you back for next week when we start the new series on natural hair. So it's called Let's Talk Texture. And we're going in. So like I said, we've got a double header for next week, which is on the Tuesday, which is my regular day every week. Tuesday, we're going to have Elaine Truesdale with ANHC Pro, and she does some amazing things. She's not a hairstylist. She's, you know, she loves natural hair, and she's created an association that provides like everything people need to like really excel. And watching this, you know, industry go from, you know, me watching people, you know, the guys come over and the girls cornrow their hair every night on the curb, you know, to a multi-billion-dollar industry right now. It's like we need to make sure we're in position to, you know, take our passion and turn it into a profitable business.
Absolutely.
She's going to be here on Tuesday, so I can't wait for that. And then on Thursday, I'm going to meet with Asha McLeod, who is the owner, founder of Jasma Inc. And she is Canada's curly hair expert, Afro hair, black hair, everything. And she's based in Toronto, based in Canada. She'll be our first international guest, but it's like, you guys are going to love her. She is a wealth of information, hilarious. And, and she's going to probably take your business somewhere else, because she really, truly like owns that category. So it's like brand building. You know, how do you build that kind of brand? How do you become that number one person to, you know, go-to person when people think, you know, whatever it is that they think you.
That's right.
Yeah, so definitely come and join us for Thursday. That's Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll definitely be back. And then we've got a whole lineup for the rest of the month. Yeah, don't miss.
Listen, I just would like to say to you, Miki, I know we haven't, communicated in person, but when I look back, I did, like a little R&D just to see how things roll with the interviews. You have had I mean, squad of some hitters that came through here, and that's just a testament to you and your reach and your relationships, because this is important. I mean, I've said some things tonight that I really don't talk about, and when I see people like Brenton and of course Patrick, and then Ted and you, it's been an unbelievable run of people. So just continued success to you. This is such a needed platform that we hear, and the way you're collecting it, that people can just binge out on it, is beautiful. So salute.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely feel like everything in my career has prepared me to be right here. And so
Yep.
the connections, the relationships, just seeing different, I've definitely interviewed people that I've never met before as well, because it's like they're doing something that's slamming. It's like I met Jessica with Black Colorists Matter online because I thought she was doing a fabulous job with curating her page. And it was just like, let's do it. Let's talk about this. So, there's so many things that we need to talk about, so many Black beauty bosses who are just doing amazing things. And we don't know what all is going on in our industry, and we need to know. And it just gives you like putting a face with, it's like, well, dang, Raymond's doing it. It's like, I could probably do it too. And so that's,
and a lot of us are friends. A lot of us are friends, like Darius. I've ate from Darius' pots. You know what I mean? So a lot of us are almost like we know that we're all in this echelon, and you're corralling them all together. And it was a no-brainer for me. So as I pass it on, I know there'll be people that I might even, hey, Miki, you might want to holler, because there's so many, and I love every aspect of it. I love that it's influencers, it's people that were behind the chair. It's just a beautiful collection of people, like people like Brenton, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, when I saw him at 20-something years old, I was like, where did you come from? So
exactly.
it's really, really cool. Really cool. Glad to be a part of
it. Absolutely a phenom. So
it.
yeah, but there's so much more to come. It's like I can't even tell you. It's like we're lining up, the months ahead, and the people that are saying yes. It's like, oh, thank you. It's like, this is
Do you think?
So I've got 5 years at least worth of guests. But if you have more, bring them on. Let's go. People I want to talk to.
Wow.
Yeah. So definitely thank you for that. I appreciate the support. And, like I said, people are asking, how they can support the work. And it's like we're setting up the website to be able to have it so that you can do contributions through PayPal, through credit card, and through Cash App. So any type of thing, any amount is fine. And so we're just excited to be able to bring this and want to be able to continue doing it, as well as, it's like I love interviewing my legends as well. And I want to capture as many stories as I can while they're here and able to tell us. And, I love those firsthand accounts. So it's just one of me. So I'm trying to get more, more team behind me. So it's like, I'm happy with the team I have so far, but I need more. So we're just going to keep expanding and keep putting this work out here. So please share the word. And, plan to join us for next week. This is the last week of the Salon Success Series. Also the last week to get Where's Your Money, Honey? So Raymond was talking about money. It's like I have a program that makes it really simple to keep up with the money that's coming in your life and the money that's going out of your life. And it's made a huge difference for hairstylists to be able to, even go back after the pandemic and say, wait a minute, I've made more now than I have been making before the pandemic. So it's at beautysuperstars.com, and I'll put the link in here as well. But yeah, definitely take advantage of that for the sale. It's only $29, and you'll definitely make that back a lot fast. Yeah. So I want to thank you guys again for being here, and you guys have a fabulous evening. I'll be back next Tuesday. So take great care. And again, thank you so much, Raymond. We appreciate it. Everyone have a wonderful evening.
Take care, guys.